takes a big man to admit he's made his mistake. And today, I'm that big man. Steve Carell, Office. Great show. This wasn't necessarily even a mistake. This is me just looking at evidence I had presented to me at the time. But before, I did tell you that the Pixel Ultra would not happen, that it did not exist, and at that time, I did believe that, given the evidence that was presented to me. Now, I have had more evidence presented to me that has therefore changed my mind, and now, I'm gonna tell you, I think it's rather possible. Does that really change how the Pixel lineup is going to perform? Maybe a little bit, but overall, I still don't think it's going to sell very well. Either way, though, there is plenty of catching up we need to do with the Pixel Ultra. A lot of this information comes from our good friend John Prosser over at Front Page Tech. I'm just kidding, I hate you. Just remember, John, no matter what, you suck, and I don't like you. Now that we've got all that cleared out of the way, he has had a lot of inside information and a lot of leaking firsthand delivered to him for his news show, and he's been covering this a lot more royally than I would say I have. I'm more interested in Apple Watch and iPhone, but he's been following this Pixel line for a while now, and there's been several new reports and several new strings of leaks that have made me believe that a lot of this evidence is concrete. So for one, Google has contacted John Prosser about using a clip from Front Page Tech for the marketing campaign of the Pixel phones that are going to be unveiled now officially on October 9th. They want to do a string of viral marketing that happens throughout the weeks that the iPhones are now available, so that people who are thinking about getting an iPhone will suddenly change their mind because they see a crappy Android phone's about to come out and go, oh, wait a minute, maybe instead of spending $1,000 on an iPhone, I should save and spend $1,000 on an Android, because that'll last longer, right? Maybe I should skip out on that ECG Apple Watch so I can buy Pixel Buds. The Bluetooth, yeah, those look good. So yeah, what does this mean? Because they asked him for a very specific clip of Front Page Tech where he's not exactly giving the praises of the Pixel line. He's not exactly saying that the Pixel brand is a good thing, but they want that clip from him specifically for their marketing campaign. So this is a first in the hardware leaks territory, where I'm starting to believe now that Google was literally bamboozling us intentionally and releasing these leaks of the Pixel 3 XL with the big old notch that you've seen a million times before. They were releasing that on purpose to dissuade us, because it's possible that they could be contacting lots of different YouTubers to use their clips in their viral marketing campaign to have a lot of people say, this has to be fake, Google is messing with us, these can't be real, so that they can string all of those videos together and then reveal that that was fake, and the Pixel 3 XL notch isn't actually real, and the Pixel Ultra is the real Pixel phone that they want us to get excited for. This is definitely the best case scenario, the fact that Google would literally be catering to the YouTube leak community, which most companies never do. Usually Samsung and Apple, they very rarely would make a fake phone or make a phone to intentionally throw people off and think it's going to be worse, and rightfully so. I don't think most companies should try to attach pre-hype before a keynote comes out of a phone that looks really, really bad. I think that's actually bad for your business, because what if a lot of people make phone purchasing decisions before your phone comes out because they expect your phone to suck a certain amount? I'm sure there are plenty of people right now that may have seen the leaks for the Pixel 3 XL with that notch and thought, yep, that looks ugly, that looks terrible, so I'm not getting that phone, I'm going to get a OnePlus 6, or I'm going to get a Note 9, or I'll even get an iPhone XS because I know how terrible that Pixel 3 is going to be. If at the end of the day you pull up the curtain and say, actually we faked that wasn't the real Pixel 3, this is the really cool one we want you to buy, won't there be a lot of people out there going, well, I wish you would have showed me that sooner because I already bought a phone and I don't want to send it back, so you threw me off and you got me to buy something else, Google. So I just want to let the record show that I think this is a bad marketing tactic. If Google truly has some type of special, unique, bezel-less smartphone design that we weren't expecting, if they were intentionally trying to throw us off, that's not good marketing. You should not convince people that your phone for the year is going to suck if in fact it's not going to suck. Releasing the actual phone and what it will actually look like and generating hype that way probably would do a lot better, because a lot of people would say, whoa, the new Pixel 3 that's going to come out in a few months looks cool. I'm not going to buy a Note 9. I'm not going to buy an iPhone because I'm seeing these leaks of the Pixel Ultra or whatever it's going to be called, and it looks pretty amazing. So I'm going to hold out and wait for that. The other bit of leaks we got is a website that is supposedly used for Google testing sites, and on this website we got a picture of what the Google brand looks like, usually with a different tone of glass on the top of the phone than the rest of the phone, with the G G in that signature spot. There were a lot of theories about what this website could mean. John Prosser luckily was able to click around and notice that it was the different colors of the Pixel 3 coming out. But the question still remains, is this to show us that those much earlier views of the Pixel Ultra with one size bezel all the way around and no notch, are those true, or is this just a marketing tactic of the back of the phone? Because you've got that top third of glass, a different shade than the rest, and you've got that G on the bottom. So could the Pixel Ultra not be real, and this website is literally just showing us what the back of a Pixel phone looks like? I could understand you leaning either way, because more importantly, there's no camera, there's no icon that shows a camera on the back of the Pixel. So really hoping Google didn't pull a, you don't need a rear-facing camera because AI, and they're just gonna have artificial intelligence take pictures with the rear-facing camera anyway. No, that's not happening. If it did, I would laugh for days, but probably gonna have a rear-facing camera. Let's just agree on that much. But I think the biggest piece of evidence to suggest that the Pixel 3 XL might not be what we think it is because why would Google be contacting YouTubers directly to try to get compilations of people saying that the Pixel brand is bad? Now, Google has had really bad marketing in the past, and they've made really stupid decisions with how they advertise the Pixel, i.e. remember our phone has a headphone jack, surprisingly not new, and then they remove it a year later, so that was a poor marketing choice. I also think it's a poor marketing choice to say dual camera, no need, because a bunch of phones with dual cameras proceeded to crush the Pixel 2 DxOMark score, which, as I've said a million times already, I don't like DxOMark. I don't think that's an equal and fair way of reviewing cameras. The only reason I bring up DxOMark with the Pixel is because Google cares about DxOMark so much. They always talk about DxOMark says we're the best, therefore we are the best. So it's funny that DxOMark has several other smartphones that did better than the Pixel 2, and what do those all have in common? They have more than one rear-facing camera. Most of them have two, one of them has three, but if you didn't know this, DxOMark will partner with any smartphone company for a price, and they will tell you how to accurately calibrate your camera to their best lighting and color settings to win the best overall score. So basically it means if you give DxOMark the right amount of money, they can make sure you get a top score. That's why I don't think ranking phones based on that score makes any sort of sense. I think a lot of photography and videography is subjective. It depends on what the person is into, but if Google's gonna cite DxOMark as being the reason they're good, then they should stop, because there's a bunch of other phones that have dual cameras and triple lens cameras that outperformed the Pixel 2, even though when they released it, they claimed, no need, you don't need a second camera, but DxOMark thinks it really helps. And we told you guys to check them because they are the best in reviewing smartphone cameras. So I'm sure the Pixel 3 will somehow score a 120 and get a better score than everyone because that pixel quality is so good. Can't get the colors that right. Either way though, I'm very curious to see if that Ultra design we saw earlier this year is real with the same size bezel all the way around, because even if Google is teasing us with the 3XL and saying that would suck, right? Well, it turns out that's actually not what it is. We threw that out there to throw you off. Here is the actual Pixel Ultra. Wouldn't that mean sacrificing the front-facing speakers? Or did they figure out a way to get stereo speakers that are front-facing on that thin bezel that stretches across the whole phone? That would be impressive, and I think they would actually have something unique there and interesting. And also, could they still sport the front-facing camera in that tiny thin bezel that they have at the top? Maybe they could. I haven't seen much things impressive come out of the Pixel hardware team before other than the squeeze feature. Ooh, but HTC did that first, and they got a lot of the HTC team to work on the Pixel. So all I'm saying is hardware-wise, I've never been very impressed with the Pixel line. It's all been about the stock Android and the camera, and that's usually the reason people buy these things. But if this year Pixel is able to flip a 180 and say, actually, we've got some hardware that's really impressive and with untouched technology, and we've created something unique, then I'll be fairly interested in it. So really hoping that's the case, but also the realistic part of my brain likes to think that Google did a really poor choice with trying to get a montage of people complaining about the Pixel 3 XL notch. That way they can show off that, hey, in the software you can turn the notch off by blacking out those pixels. No one's going to care if you added that feature, and you should not get a highlight reel of people who have said that your phones are bad, and also on that same channel, like Front Page Tech, said that they are switching to an iPhone this year because of how boring and how unoriginal the Android community has been this year, and how they're all just adding notches and chins to all their phones. And if the Pixel 3 XL is real and they just got that highlight reel of YouTubers dissing it so they could advertise, so we added the option to gray it out, you're welcome, haha, we're in it with the youth, that's gonna be really cringy. But either way, we will be reacting to that keynote as it happens on October 9th when they unveil the Pixel 3. It's going to be interesting, to say the least. I think a lot more interesting than the Apple keynote, because because that was just boring. That was exactly what we thought it would be, and we got exactly what we thought we would get, minus the fast chargers, minus the cheaper prices. But with the Pixel this year, it honestly feels like Google is saying, oh, no, Samsung's doing $1,000 phones, Apple's doing $1,000 phones, we'll do it too! But then change nothing, because look at the Pixel book. It's made by Google, so it should be expensive because it's made of aluminum and glass. Hope they don't apply that same terminology to the Pixel 3 by saying, it's premium and made by Google, therefore it's okay that it costs $1,000. Why? Stock Android. That's it. Really hope that's not the case, but let me know what you think the Pixel Ultra, the Pixel 3 XL is going to be down in the comments below, because it could go a lot of different directions, and it's definitely a first in the tech world that Google would intentionally release fake stuff to get false hype or to get people worried and then see the real thing and it's not that bad, which I just think is bad marketing. But all that good stuff, let me know in the comments below. This is your Apple Sheep here, and I will see you in the next one.